think my favorite component was the making of it, getting to sit down at a table and talking with colleagues from different disciplines.
The four of us who did this class represent 3 different disciplines: geography, history, and political science. And I think it helps students realize that there are so many different ways to look at these problems.
We've had a number of disagreements, and many of them we've done so intentionally because we want to build a little bit of intellectual and maybe even a little bit of emotional tension into the course.
I think what this course is about is not American decline. We're up there at the top, but rather the rise of the rest.
In any issue of history, there's debate. There's, multiple points of view, varying perspectives. In this course, students are actually going to see that firsthand.
And they get to see that there's different approaches and different regions of the world involved in these big mega questions. They are treated to joining a conversation of adults with adults.
For the past 2 decades, no other nation comes close to matching our influence.
Our world today has a plethora of treaties and agreements.
Economics, politics, and technology are the 3 arenas where power can be gained.
And that it creates both new problems and new possibilities for decision makers.
What we're doing is kind of cutting edge stuff in online learning, and that's partly why it's exciting to be part of this particular project.
The RSS feeds, I think, are great. They're a way to keep very, very much up to date on the subjects of the feeds.
They'll be in tune to these constant changes underway.
It's a wonderfully inventive thing for students, instead of a term paper, are going to put something on Wikipedia that they'll not only share among themselves, but they'll share with the world. And they'll open themselves up to criticism from anybody who wants to read it.
I think that is the ideal assignment for a class of this nature. Something that will be published, in effect, and people will have access to it from a much broader arena.
People participate in chat rooms. They don't have to worry about how they look. They can be sitting at home at the kitchen table in their pajamas and drinking coffee, and they're able to unload and be perfectly natural as they work through these issues.
There are so many different ways that students can learn about the subjects we're talking about. One of the things that was really fun to do was the case study. In my case, they go to Shanghai and they go to New Delhi and they talk to people and they visit different parks. To be a researcher, this is similar to what you would do on a trip.
I would have to say especially the case study on the Russian-Georgia conflict, because that's something that I think it took a lot of people by surprise when that conflict erupted in August of 2008. I had done a little bit of background information on that before, and being able to share that in this venue was the most exciting part.
Trying to sort through what's true, what's false, what reflects one person's point of view.
And then the ability to think about, well, what does that mean in terms of problems and potential solutions?
Right now, I would say in terms of understanding our world, it is vitally important to understand the changing global environment.
The collaborative experience of working with other professors, another historian, political scientist, and a geographer. I mean, it's been a tremendous learning experience.
I think they get a set of tools, of questions, and hopefully a bit of intellectual curiosity that can carry on well beyond the confines of this 1 semester class.